Welcome back, friends. Today, we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing and slightly terrifying topics out there: hacking your DNA. Yep, you heard that right. Imagine if you could tweak your genes like lines of code in a computer program. Delete a typo here, paste in an upgrade there. Sounds like sci-fi, right? But this isn't Blade Runner. It's real life. Scientists are already doing it. Biohackers are experimenting in their garages. And whether we're ready or not, this tech is changing what it means to be human. Let's unpack it all, step by step. First, let's talk about what DNA actually is. Think of it as your body's instruction manual. Every cell in your body has a copy, written in a language made up of 4 letters: A, T, C, G. These letters form words, genes, that tell your cells how to build proteins, fight off viruses, or even determine your eye color. For decades, we could only read this manual. Now, we're learning to rewrite it. The tool making this possible? CRISPR. CRISPR is like the find and replace function in a word processor, but for DNA. Here's how it works. Scientists create a tiny guide, a piece of RNA, that matches the exact gene they want to edit. Then, they attach it to a protein called Cas9, which acts like molecular scissors. The guide finds the gene, the scissors cut it out, and voila! You can delete it, repair it, or slot in a new gene. This isn't theoretical. Researchers have used CRISPR to cure genetic diseases in animals, create malaria-resistant mosquitoes, and even bring extinct species like the woolly mammoth back to life. Well, almost. But here's where it gets wild. You don't need a PhD to try this. DIY CRISPR kits are selling online for a few $100. Picture this. A college student named Jenna orders one of these kits. In her dorm room, she uses it to edit bacteria so they glow in the dark. Cool party trick, right? But Jenna's not stopping there. She's part of a growing community of biohackers, people who believe your DNA shouldn't be a read-only file. Some are tweaking their gut bacteria to produce vitamins. Others are injecting DIY gene therapies to boost muscle growth. One guy even tried to give himself night vision by borrowing genes from a deep-sea fish. Spoiler, it didn't work. But the fact that he tried? That's the world we're living in. Now, before you rush off to Amazon to buy a CRISPR kit, let's talk risks. Editing DNA isn't like coding an app. Mess up a line of code, you get an error message. Mess up a gene? You could trigger cancer, autoimmune diseases, or worse. Even if you get it right, there's no undo button. Once you've altered your DNA, those changes can pass to your kids. And then there's the ethics. Should we edit human embryos to eliminate diseases? What happens when only the rich can afford upgrades? Could someone accidentally, or on purpose, create a deadly virus? Take the case of He Jiankui, the Chinese scientist who edited the genes of twin girls in 2018 to make them HIV resistant. The global backlash was instant. He was jailed, and the scientific community called it reckless. But the genie's out of the bottle. Other countries are racing to use CRISPR for everything from curing sickle cell anemia to growing drought-resistant crops. The question isn't, can we do this? It's, should we? Let's zoom out. Imagine a future where you can download genes like apps. Want to boost your memory? There's a gene for that. Want to live longer? Edit your telomeres. Want neon green hair? Just tweak your melanin genes. Sounds fun, right? But your body isn't a computer. Genes work in networks. Change one, and you might break 10 others. For example, the same gene that makes some people resistant to HIV also makes them more vulnerable to West Nile virus. Nature loves trade-offs. And then, there's the elephant in the room, inequality. Right now, gene therapies cost millions. If editing DNA becomes routine, will it be a basic human right, or a luxury for the rich? Imagine a world where the wealthy design perfect babies, while everyone else deals with outdated genes. It's Gattaca meets Black Mirror, and we're already seeing hints of it. But it's not all doom and gloom. CRISPR could revolutionize medicine. Imagine curing cancer by editing immune cells to hunt down tumors, or ending genetic diseases like cystic fibrosis. Scientists are even working on gene drives, editing entire species to wipe out malaria-carrying mosquitoes or invasive rats. The potential to save millions of lives is real. So how close are we to hacking our DNA safely? The truth is, we're still in the early days. CRISPR is powerful but messy. It sometimes edits the wrong genes, and we don't fully understand the long-term effects. That's why most experts say, leave this to the pros. But the pros aren't the only ones playing the game. Meet Josiah Zayner, a former NASA scientist turned biohacker. He's famous for injecting himself with CRISPR live on stage, trying to boost his muscle growth. Did it work? Not really. But he sparked a movement. Today, online forums are filled with people sharing DIY gene editing recipes. Some are harmless, like engineering glow-in-the-dark plants. Others are not. One group tried to create a homemade COVID vaccine. It went about as well as you'd expect. The scariest part? Security. DNA is digital. It can be copied, hacked, or weaponized. Imagine a terrorist engineering a virus that targets specific ethnic groups, or a rogue state releasing a gene drive that wipes out crops. Even printing DNA is possible now. Companies can synthesize custom genes and mail them to your door. What stops someone from recreating smallpox? Not much. But let's not panic. Regulations are catching up. Countries are setting rules for gene editing, and scientists are developing kill switches to limit CRISPR's reach. There's also a push for open source ethics, making gene editing tools transparent and accessible to everyone, not just corporations. The idea is to democratize the tech before it's too late. So what's the takeaway? DNA hacking is here, and it's a double-edged sword. It could save lives or unleash chaos. The key is to stay informed, ask tough questions, and demand accountability. Your genes are yours. Shouldn't you have a say in how they're used? If you're curious to learn more, stick around. We've got a ton to explore, like how AI is designing custom genes, or why some scientists want to delete aging. Hit subscribe, and let's navigate this brave new world together. And hey, if you could edit one gene, what would it be? Drop your answer below. Let's keep the conversation wired.